Academic rigor is not easily defined, but we have worked to put together a four-pronged approach to help our faculty understand what it takes to deliver real quality. The first step is challenging our students to think beyond the course objectives.
To stretch the student beyond the course objectives, I like to always answer questions with, "It depends." And when you do that, people have to stop and think for a moment on what are the different criteria that go into making a proper decision.
Well, I think the major thing is, how do we connect the curriculum we teach with how they can apply this in the real world? And I find that the students today truly want to have that application focus.
Grades are very important to students, but only when they're earned. We work hard to sponsor what we call a tough love grading system.
I do find that being flexible with the students in terms of their time is important, but in terms of getting assignments in on time and making sure that they're well done, that tough love grading system is essential.
In this way, they really learn to become accountable for their actions, and in nursing, accountability is really key.
I try to apply to the real world. In the real world, we all have competition, and really talented people are out in the workplace, which is what the customer looks for. And if your work isn't the best and the highest quality, the customer's going to take their purchasing dollar elsewhere. So I try in my grading and my tough love is to kind of share with the student that, well, competition, students are actually reaching a higher level. You might want to stretch also.
A challenge for many good facilitators is designing innovative ways to assess their students. Let's find out how some of our faculty are being creative with their course assessments.
Around the class, oftentimes their expressions on their face will tell me that they have a real-world example to what it is we're discussing, and I'll always know their name, and I always call them out and ask them to share what it is that they're thinking.
But I like to use group exercises where people present their findings. Whether it's it's an assignment in research, they'll present their topic and also critically question one another and the instructor, myself. That way we learn from each other and we can do a better job of communicating as a whole.
An element of interest and excitement in the classroom.
I like to use a lot of different creative ways in order to assess my students. I'm always looking for a lot of innovative ways in order to teach and assess information.
Teamwork is so prevalent today in so many organizations. Our faculty continuously find new ways to have their students collaborate. Let's hear a few stories.
I love to use a lot of role play within my classrooms because I find that this makes a very collaborative environment. I'm always asking the students as well a number of questions. In both situations, this allows the students to consider the information in the context of how they would use the information, and thus makes it incredibly relevant to them.
In the classroom, I like to use a felt tip marker and a whiteboard, and as a class we develop the models that are used in making decisions. In that collaboration of creating those models, we get a tremendous amount of discussion. That discussion links to long-term memory.
It's so much more than simply connecting the dots. As students move from theory and application to adaptation and innovation, it's almost like watching a phoenix regenerate its wings and take flight.
Hopefully then the student will be able to use that in their professional career.
Well, one thing I do is I give out a learning style inventory at the beginning of every course, and so I get an idea of how students best communicate and how they learn best. And so then I pair up many of the students in the class and figure out which groups might meld together best. That doesn't always work out well, but then we do a little monitoring and adjusting and adjust to make sure that they come out of this experience working with at least one person in the group that they can connect with.
All right. Hi, I'm Bob Zalabak. I'm the campus director here for the Minneapolis-St. Paul campus. And I'm honored to talk to you a little bit about faculty pride and be involved in this video. I wanted to talk a little bit about the differences between the University of Phoenix and maybe some other universities out there, and how our faculty differs, and and the advantages you have of being in a classroom with some of key business leaders and key industry leaders every night in class, and being able to network with some very important people within the community. And that's really what sets us apart from other universities out there, is having that real world experience right in the classroom, and being able to take that, what you learn maybe tonight in class, and be able to use that in your career tomorrow morning, I think is one of the biggest keys and one of the biggest quality pieces to the education. But I also talk about student responsibility too. Students have to get in there and have to network with their faculty, and all of this information and all of these tools are out there, and it's really on you to be able to use those networks and use them to your advantage. And so it's a great opportunity for you to network and our faculty, and we're very, very proud of our faculty and all that they do for us.
Hello, I'm Dr. Don Johnson. I'm the Director of Academic Affairs for University of Phoenix and our Minnesota campuses. And I hope you enjoyed the messages from our three esteemed faculty members who talked about what they feel is their contribution to academic rigor in our classrooms here at the Minnesota campuses. As faculty members, we have our duty to bring our best 4 hours a night for 5 weeks or 6 weeks, whatever that time frame may be, that we're with our students, to bring our A game every night. As students, you have a responsibility and a duty to elevate the conversation through your own critical evaluation of ideas and your own perception of what you feel you should be getting from this education.
When I can motivate a student to boldly approach a conversation that before they would shy away from, that's when I know today was a good day of meaningful work.